This question is, what sort of freedom do Buddhists experience which is not enjoyed by the followers of other religions? Do you think that you really enjoy some sort of freedom by following this religion? Actually, you do not know. You do not appreciate, because from the very beginning you had been experiencing this freedom. When you analyze our way of life, we can understand clearly we are free. This is a free religion. That is why in the West, people introduce this as a religion of freedom and reason. This is not the religion of free thinkers, because many of those free thinkers do not know how to reason out. They are skeptics. A skeptic means they are not ready to face facts. They have their own skeptical ideas lopsided. So here, this religion gives full freedom for you to think freely without depending on any authority, any holy book, any God, any teacher. This you cannot find in any religion. Always they are bound to follow certain laws, certain commandments, subject to certain punishments, and it is compulsory that they must believe or they must accept, and they must depend on their holy book. They must depend on their God, whether they can understand or not. They must depend on their guru, their teacher, their master. But in Buddhism, you cannot find any of those restrictions. Because of this freedom, many people take the advantage and take this religion very loosely, without upholding or without giving due respect. Now when we refer to one of the discourses, we get a lot of information to support this idea. What sort of freedom the Buddha has given to us. So in simple language, I can tell you this much. The only religion, the only religious teacher, only founder of a religion who has given so much credit to human intelligence. Remember this. The Buddha never thought that we cannot understand. We cannot think. He knew we can think, we can understand. But unfortunately, our minds are deluded, clouded, misled, confused. That is why he wanted to give some ideas how to remove these disturbances, mental hindrances, to see things through proper perspective, to understand. the real nature of life and the world. Now we can see the difference. But all the other religions preach and teach and introduce that our duty or their duty is to obey, to listen, to pray, to worship, whether they like or not, whether they can understand or not. The Buddha did not agree with this method. There are 10 advices given by the Buddha in, can you mention the name of the discourse? In which sutra? I'm sure you have heard more than 100 times. Kalama Sutra, the name of the discourse. Kalama means a name of a place. A group of people from that particular place, young people, approached the Buddha and asked this question. There are many religions, and all these existing religions challenge with each other, try to glorify that their particular religion is the true religion. Therefore we are confused. We cannot understand. Even today, here in this country, we are facing the same problem. Still you do not know which religion is the correct religion. So came and asked the Buddha's advice. So he did not say Buddhism or the Buddha's teaching is the only correct religion. He has given 10 reasons for them to think, consider and understand. After that, they can understand which is the true religion. Now this is the Buddha's method. Some of those advisors very clearly reveal the attitude of the Buddha towards all the existing religions and beliefs and practices and traditions and cultures and everything. What is the Buddha's attitude? Or what is the Buddhist attitude? He says, people follow and maintain various beliefs as their tradition. It is natural. Whether they can understand or not, whether they appreciate or not, whether they like or not, what they say, oh, this is our tradition. Then the Buddha's advice is, don't follow your tradition simply by thinking this is our tradition. Therefore we are bound to accept it. You have mind to think and understand and observe. If you think, your belief, your practices, your traditions are meaningful, useful, accept. If not, there is no reason for you to maintain, give up. That is the first advice. Again he says, at once when you look at or when you listen, certain belief or certain information creates some sort of inspiration, emotional satisfaction in your mind at once. Then you think, oh, this is true. But you never studied, you have never given a chance for mind to consider, to observe. So whatever we accept by using our mere emotion, later we will come to know that it is a very temporary emotional satisfaction, but there is no truth. So he advises us not to accept at once anything. Then he says, don't accept any religion, any teaching, having seen that the majority in this country or in this world follow this religion. Therefore, this must be the correct religion. You must understand. Majority here in this world actually not understanding people, not intelligent people, not good people. Therefore, we cannot find or we cannot follow the majority to accept the truth. Again, when he referred to the Buddha, in his teaching he says, Nandha Bahu. Amongst those human beings in this world, there are more foolish people, more blindfolded. Very few can understand the truth. Therefore, we should not follow the majority. This majority business we started after this democracy, politics, majority vote. That is not for us to find out the truth. That is for political power and authority. So we cannot apply this for us to accept a religion. So don't follow the majority. Again he says authority. If you follow the orders given by the authorities who maintain a religion, one day you get into trouble. Because you do not know who these authorities are, their mentality, their intention, their motive. So don't follow any authorities blindly, thinking they are the authorities. Our duty is to follow them. Religious authorities. But all the others follow them. The Buddha says don't follow the authority. If authorities are correct, genuine, then you can understand they are right, then accept. Then don't follow any teachings, thinking the master or the guru or the teacher who introduced this teaching, this dharma, this religion, is a very powerful man. By considering, thinking of a person, you should not accept the religion. All the others say, you must follow and worship and pray only to one particular person. If you worship others, it is a sin. See the difference. What sort of freedom you are experiencing. How they have blindfolded you, misled you. Very clearly he has mentioned, you should not accept my dharma, my teaching, thinking the Buddha is a great man. If you accept the Dhamma or religion by considering in this way, you never realize the truth. Just you follow that man. In fact, we Buddhists remember this word. we Buddhists are not the followers of the Buddha. Do you know that? Simply we say we are the followers. We are not the followers of the Buddha. The Buddha did not advise us to follow him. His advice is, consider the advice given by him, practice and see whether it is true or not. Then you can understand. Not necessary to follow the Buddha. Not necessary to depend on Buddha. So we are not the followers. We worship, we respect, we honor him by knowing he is an enlightened teacher who has paved the way for us to understand the truth, to find out our salvation. Because of that we respect him. Otherwise we are not the followers. But all the others are the followers. Just follow. Then don't depend on your holy books, your scriptures. Thinking the authority is here in the holy book. For anything people say, they can say, oh, it is recorded in our holy book. Who recorded all these things? Written by God or written by the Buddha? Who recorded them? I remember many years ago, there was a religious forum at the University of Malaya. On Buddhists and Christians and Hindus, Muslims, 4 speakers. The subject was the concept of God. They expressed their opinion. After their talk, one student got up and asked these questions. He said, when you study science and technology and modern subjects, we can understand many things in this world. But the same thing that we study through our scientific subject, when you study through our holy books, religious books, we find those informations are not acceptable. We feel these things are dogmas and superstitious belief. Therefore, how can we accept what is recorded in holy books? If we cannot agree and accept and understand, so how can we accept it? Now, which one are we going to accept? Whether the holy books or the scientific discoveries? Now, these are terrible questions. Muslim speaker was a very understanding man, very learned man. He gave the answer. Unexpected answer he has given. I was there. He said, of course, according to their belief, definitely God has given a message to a man. We cannot deny this. Assume it is true. After that, he conveyed this message to others. God appeared and revealed all these things to me. Then he started to reveal one by one These are the commandments, these are the principles, these are the duties to others. Later, people started to write these things in their book and introduce as holy books. And how do we know? When they started to write, whether they have written the same message given by the God, whether they have recorded what they could understand, whether they have distorted, misinterpreted, how do we know? This is the nature of holy book. So, this answer is an excellent answer for all the others also who depend on their holy books. But earlier, the Buddha has given this warning. See, more than 2,500 years ago, he said, don't depend on any holy books. People can write anything. Later they introduce as divine message came down from heaven but recorded by the man. Another thing, if the God really want to convey a message to the whole mankind, why does he choose only one man? Also secretly. What is the secret there? It is not a secret message. A message for the whole mankind. What is the difficulty for him to announce so that all of us can hear? There is no reason to find out one man, and we cannot understand that. He is the only man who can understand this message. Why he revealed this secretly? That is what the Buddha said. There is no secret doctrine in my teaching. No secret. Everything is open. So don't depend on your holy books. I respect Mr. Nehru, the former Prime Minister of India. Very highly intellectual, intelligent man. He says, when we are going to introduce a religion, we must try to avoid three things. If we use one of these three weapons, people may accept a religion but never realize the truth. First thing, don't use your holy book. Allow people to use their common sense and understanding. If you depend on your holy book, they think it is true, although they cannot understand. No realization, no understanding. Second advice is, if you want to introduce a religion, don't talk about the next line. That is a very good weapon for all these religionists to introduce religion. Bring these two things, heaven and hell. Next line. Ask them to withdraw these two and talk about religion. Nothing to talk about religion. By using the word heaven, they create temptation, but no understanding, no truth, no realization. By talking about hell, they create fear in your mind. Because of that fear, you accept something, but no understanding. No real religious value. You accept heaven because of your greed, your craving. You are scared of hell because of fear created in your mind. There is no religion. That is not religion. So without talking about next life, that there will be another life, hereafter you can enjoy your life, you can have immortal, eternal, wonderful life. It's more or less like bribery. That is not the way to introduce a religion. That is not the purpose of a religion. First and foremost, a duty of a religion is to teach us, train us to live as cultured, civilized, harmless, honest, understanding human beings. If religion cannot do this, what is the big idea of promising to send us to heaven? How can they do that? If they cannot train us to live as real human beings on this earth, how can they send us to heaven after our death? They are bluffing. If Buddhists preach in this way, try to introduce Buddhism, don't accept this type of Buddhism. That is not the way how the Buddha introduced. We have to start from the beginning. Now here, when those young people came to see the Buddha, they say they don't believe that there will be another life hereafter. The Buddha said, don't worry about this. Why do you worry about it? Whether there is another life or not, it is immaterial. You must know your duties, your responsibilities, your obligations to fulfill while you are living here in this world. Then, if you fulfill these duties without neglecting them, that is more than enough for you. Whether there will be another life or not. Why worry about another life? Here you are willing to suffer, torture yourself in order to go and enjoy your life in heaven. See how stupid people are. You are willing to burn, willing to hurt, willing to suffer. For what? To go and enjoy your life in heaven after your death. Now there is no such religion taught by the Buddha. You can lead very normal life. In fact, there is nothing to change in your life. To practice this religion. If you don't like, it's not necessary to worship. If you don't like. So what is the most important? If you can lead a respectable life, harmless life, then religion is there. That is called religious life. Then you can have nice food, you can have nice dress, you can have nice houses. If you can afford, you can have nice motor car. You can enjoy your life reasonable way. You can indulge, you can please all the senses without harming others, without bluffing others. That is called respectable. Buddhism never say it is wrong. Buddhism never say that you go against any religious principle. See what sort of freedom you are enjoying. So not necessary for you to behave like animals when you come to practice a religion. You can stand like gentlemen, not like worms of animals. Even when you come to a place of worship, not necessary for you to behave like animals. Gentleness is the important thing. Full freedom is there. But you are learning how to maintain your human dignity. If these good qualities are not there, then what sort of religion is it? You can say you pray, you worship. Is that the purpose of a religion? Then, few more. How to choose a religion? Don't listen to others. Hear, see. People come and tell you all sort of cock and bull stories. You know, there is a master, there is a guru, there is a teacher who can cure all your sicknesses. Very powerful. He can perform miracles. This is the way how people spread rumors. But when you analyze, when you associate very closely, there is nothing. People spread all these rumors. If there is anybody who can cure all our sicknesses, government can close down all the hospitals. Doctors have to close down their dispensaries. Because that religious teacher can cure all their sicknesses. People believe this kind of thing. That is what the Buddha said. Don't listen to those people, what they say. So when you consider all these things, you can understand how the Buddha has given full freedom for us to judge, measure, considerate, to understand, without depending on anybody. That is the highest freedom. Furthermore, as Buddhists, we never believe that we must be baptized in order to wash away the sins committed by us. We are not sinners. But everybody in this world, almost every day, they are committing sins. It's not the original one. Every day they are committing sins. By using their mind, using their word, using their physical. In that case, all are sinners. We have no such guilty feeling. But we know we make mistakes. And we know why we make mistakes. We make mistakes because of our ignorance, misunderstanding, greed, our jealousy, anger. We are not influenced by a devil or God to commit all these evils. Our own natural evil forces. So religion is for us to practice, to reduce, to minimize, to eradicate those evil forces from the mind by knowing the nature of our mind. Again, when we come to worldly life, now let us take marriage. Certain religions preach that each and every person must get married. Because the purpose of creation, man and woman in this world, is to produce. If they don't produce, they go against the will of God. So they go on producing and do not know the limit. Now what is happening? By following the advice given by the God, they are going on producing. There is no such teaching in Buddhism that you must produce. There is no such religious law that you must get married. There is no such law that you should not get married or you must get married. It is up to you. That is called freedom. One religion say you cannot get married. Another religion say you must get married. Buddhism say it is up to you. If you don't like, keep quiet. So much the better. Religion never interferes. If you like, get married, go ahead. But when the troubles and problems come, don't run. That is Buddhism. Now see what sort of freedom. After your marriage, one religion says you must produce children. It is a religious law. If the first wife cannot produce children, then you can have number 2, number 3, number 4 until you get especially a son. This is religion. There must be a son. Buddhism never talk anything about your marriage, but advice, given necessary advice how to lead a peaceful married life. Never talk about children, it is up to you. If you like children, you can produce 1 or 2 dozen children. That is your business. Religion has nothing to do with this. If you don't like children, you can have family planning, birth control. Religion never interferes. Now another big problem. Religions divided into two. One group say we cannot practice family planning. This is against the will of God. But churi they are doing it. Everybody is doing it. But Buddhism never says that we cannot practice family planning. Because we never violate any religious principle by practicing it. We never break any precepts by following the family plan. For our convenience, we practice it. We never harm anybody. So there is nothing to go against with religion. Now see what sort of freedom is there. Then, when we die, one religion says you must be buried, cannot burn, cannot cremate. Another religion says you must be buried, cannot burn. Or the other one says you must be cremated, cannot burn. In certain countries, facilities are not available. Enough lands are not available for burial. Now let us go to Hong Kong and see what is happening, where people bury those dead bodies. Now here you can understand what sort of freedom we can experience as Buddhists. So we can adjust, arrange all our activities, day-to-day life, according to our convenience, facilities, without becoming slaves to any religion. If you like, we can burn or cremate. If you don't like, if the facilities are not favorable, you can arrange burial. Buddhism never interferes. That freedom is there. Alright? Assume that we have cremated, burned the dead body. After that, another argument about the ashes. What to do with the ashes? Some people say we must throw into the water. This is a Hindu tradition originated in India. Nothing to do with Buddhism. But no, to us there is no religious significance. Those who like to throw into the water can do so, no harm at all. Some others like to keep these ashes in a temple. When you study the teachings of the Buddha, there is no religious significance at all, no meaning at all. Don't get angry with me. You spend so much to keep these ashes. That is only to respect your father, mother, grandmother, or so and so. Otherwise, no religious significance at all. That freedom is there. Why? Why there is no religious significance? Now we have 4 elements in our body. We have heard this. We have solidity, this bones and muscles, solidity. We have fluid, blood and all sort of fluid. We have heat energy. We have wind. These 4 elements. Immediately after our death, 2 elements completely disappear. No heat energy, no wind or motion, completely disappear. Now remains only 2 elements, fluid and solidity. After few days or few months, fluid also completely separates. And no flesh, no fluid. Only solidity remains, bones remain. So after burning, when you collect the ashes, remains only solidity. There is no life. There is no soul. There is no spirit. There is nothing. Only one element. But we regard, this is our father, this is our mother, this is our husband, this is our child, this is our feeling, inner feeling. Because of this feeling, we would like to place these ashes in a place to respect, no harm at all. Very good, to show your gratitude, but no religious meaning at all. By worshipping and praying and offering to these ashes, you cannot send him to heaven. Remember this. If the departed person is in hell, you cannot release that person just because you can worship to these ashes. So freedom here means this understanding. Not to become slaves to any of those traditional beliefs. You must know why and how and when people started all these things due to various other reasons. Again, after our death, many people believe either heaven or hell. In between there is nothing. But Buddhism never teaches this. Not only heavens and hell. Heaven means enjoyable life. Hell means suffering, miserable life. This is the way how Buddha has introduced heaven and hell. So there are various forms of living beings, not confined only to heaven and hell. So it is up to us to mold, to adjust our way of life, to divert, to direct this way of life, without allowing this life get into unfortunate state. This is the duty of religion. Pave the way. But there is nobody to carry us, to take us. Either the Buddha or Bodhisattvas or Devas or Brahmas or God. No one can carry us there. So we are responsible. There is nobody else who can take the responsibilities of our life. We are talking about life. Others can take responsibilities to provide food, to give money or shelter or clothing or medicine. Life is something else. Life is the energy. So I am responsible for my life. Another person cannot adjust, cannot change my life. But others can provide, create either very bad atmosphere or very favorable atmosphere by watching or observing or listening or seeing or experiencing this environment. The way how we handle our mental attitudes. We create either mental pollution or mental purity. Our religion is there. So we change our way of life according to that mental attitude. So you cannot change my way of life. I cannot change your way of life. But I can provide more than enough materials for you, either to pollute your mind or to maintain some sort of peace in your mind. But you are doing that. That pollutions and purity created by you, not by me. I cannot create it. Now I can scold you by using dirty words. I have created a very bad atmosphere. And if you have not learned how to guard your mind at that time, then you pollute the purity of your mind. Then you get angry. That anger is not created by me. I cannot create anger in your mind. You create anger in your mind by listening to my words. If you have learned the advice given by the Buddha how to behave at that time, to guard your mind, I cannot create anger in your mind. I cannot disturb your mind. Selo yatta eka ghano vatena nasamirati. Evan ninda apasanka nasamiteya pandita. Hear that right. When we train our mind through our understanding, our mind becomes a solid rock. Vatena nasamirati. The wind and storm cannot shake that rock. Evan ninda pasansas. In the same way, when people start to abuse and scold and accuse and humiliate, or praise and appreciate, a man who has developed his mind remains calm, just like a solid rock. That is called the development of the mind. So we are learning to strengthen our mind, to face. We know all these things through our five senses. Every minute we experience very unpleasant feeling. Because of this unpleasant feeling that we gain through the senses, we disturb the poor mind. We do that. So another person cannot do that. So the freedom that we experience by practicing this religion is we have learned to give full freedom for our mind to think unbiasedly without depending on the person, without depending on authorities, without depending on holy books, without depending on laws, without depending on punishment or reward. Complete freedom. Then we are at liberty to divert our way of life according to our wish, according to our will, according to our attachment, according to our aspiration. Remember this. Another person cannot change this. By doing some meritorious deeds, some services to others, we create this aspiration, will, or ambition to be like this. But we should not be crazy for sensual pleasure or enjoyment, then pollute the purity of the services. When you do some service to others with good intention, you feel very happy, thinking that you could manage to relieve their suffering. The happiness that you created in your mind is the merit. But your ignorance pollutes this happiness. What is that ignorance? You pray, you aspire by thinking, or by the power of this merit, by the virtues of this merit, may I get the chance to go and enjoy my life in heaven. Polluted the purity of the happiness. You imbued your craving into that happiness. If you can maintain that happiness without mixing, without polluting with craving, this happiness you can cultivate and develop and shift over to the spiritual development. Not toward the worldly way of life, but toward the spiritual development. How come? By gaining this happiness, you experience some sort of relief in your mind. You gain some inspiration, and you gain more courage, and devotion and confidence. All are good mental attitude, good qualities. If you develop your craving to enjoy only worldly life, sensual pleasure, that craving, no doubt, provide, fulfill your ambition. But while experiencing your worldly life, enormous troubles and problems and worries and difficulties you have to come across. Nobody knows. Right, I'll explain. After donating say a few $1,000s for a good project or worthy cause, then it is a meritorious deed. Then you develop your ambition, your craving to be born in a very wealthy, rich, multi-millionaire's family, to be a son of a multi-millionaire. That is your ambition. Yes, you can give. You can do that. There is no difficulty. You got it. Assume you got it. Now you are a millionaire because of that meritorious deed. Your idea is to enjoy your life, isn't it? Otherwise, what was? After becoming a multimillionaire, that poor man had to come across so much of worries and sufferings and disturbances and unhappiness and jealousy and anger. Nobody knows. His life also in danger. People are waiting to kidnap him. And you can understand how they torture them. And what happened to their property? How many millions they have to donate to save their life? Life is in danger day and night. Where is happiness? But you pray for this. After that, the next life can become the most miserable one. Because no happiness in that life. Always in fear. Greedy for the property. Can go down and down and down. Assume you maintain only happiness without creating such ambition that you want to become a son of a multimillionaire. Only happiness. I feel very happy. I have done this service to others. They are enjoying their life because of my service. Throughout your life you can enjoy this happiness. You have not polluted this happiness. Created purity in your mind. Because of that happiness in your mind, you had a better chance to be born or to gain a very peaceful, contented life. To lead a peaceful life where you can develop further and further your spiritual way of life. Where you can experience more peace, more happiness, more satisfaction in your life. So it is up to you to decide. So learning is important to know how to divert our way of life towards which direction. Having seen what sort of troubles and problems and worries and difficulties they are facing day and night, and how others experience peace and satisfaction through their renunciation, then we can think unbiased. We can reduce our grace, our greed. The more we reduce all these defilements, sediments from our mind, the more we can have peace, satisfaction. The purpose of life is to reduce our suffering. We come into existence in this world with worldly condition to suffer. This suffering starts from the very beginning, in the mother's womb. Sufferings and suffering. Then the mother and the baby both are in real hell. Nothing but suffering. Life also in danger and uncertain. After giving birth, in spite of various kinds of suffering. And again, what kind of suffering this mother and child both have to face, tolerate. But they can tolerate because this is the worldly condition and the nature. Sufferings and sufferings and suffering. So they are used to it. They think their duty is to suffer. Then they tolerate. But when another person look at to another angle, can see how they suffer. Then go on developing and developing and developing what sort of responsibilities, duties, suffering, miseries, disappointment, disturbances, unhappiness, up to the end. One day, die. Again, unhappiness, disappointment, worries, grievances. After our death, again, uncertainty. Nobody knows where we go. Nobody knows what will happen to us. Whether we go to hell or become animals or ghosts or devils or devas or humans, nobody knows. Again, worry. Where is the end of it? All these things we can understand. We use our free mind without depending neither this or that. But we are learning how to direct, how to divert, how to handle this life. That is why we need a religion like this. But remember, man is not for religion. Religion is for man. Man should not suffer because of religion. Religion is for us to make use of, for our betterment, for our peace, for our satisfaction, but not to suffer. The way how people handle their religion, through their selfishness, greed, they create more suffering, more problems, more misunderstanding, more anger, jealousy, polluted human mind, completely polluted religion. So, no freedom. They are more or less prisoners in their religious jail. They cannot do many things, although they are harmless. Others can see they are harmless, but religious authorities say you cannot. No freedom at all. But in Buddhism, we are not prisoners of the Buddhist jail. We have full freedom. In many other places of worship, even men and women cannot sit together, they must separate. But here we have no such problem. That freedom is there. You can sit down anywhere, wherever you like. In certain places of worship, women must cover their faces, hide. We have no such problem. In certain places of worship for nearly 2,000 years, women were not allowed to enter any places of worship. Prohibited. We never had such problem. Now you can understand what sort of freedom we are enjoying. But very narrow-minded, greedy people surrender this religion, not knowing what sort of freedom we are experiencing, we are enjoying, without disturbing the followers of other religions, without condemning them, without regarding them as sinners, without thinking that they go to hell if they don't accept our religion. See what sort of freedom we have. But others think we are sinners. Others think we go to hell because we don't accept their religion. Others think we cannot go to heaven because we do not follow their religion. We have no such hostility, such dirty ideas in our mind. Can analyze in thousands ways to understand what sort of freedom we are experiencing. Agamaintika punyantam anumoditta tiram rakkanta loka sadhanam ittavathajam mehi samgatam punya sampadam sabbe devanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya devo vassatu kalena sabba sampatti hetuca pito bhavatu lokoca raja bhavatu dhammiko vitango jnātinam hotu sakitavantu jnātayo imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana pattiya.